Focus on others to engage with, and this is huge right now for real estate. Get the blogging out of your head for a second. Get social out of your head for a second. Focusing. Our main job in real estate. Remember, I've sold 22 some years. I've listed a lot of properties. I've worked with a lot of buyers. I've run teams. I know what I do really well, and I know what I don't do really well. You have to kind of learn that too. But what I did really well is I was focused on prospecting. And prospecting, you hear it all the time from 9,000 different trainers. But when it comes to social media, we have to get uncomfortable. See, we usually talk to and connect with and chit-chat with the core group of people who are our friends. Yet, if you look at the group, if you can look at all their pictures, all those little faces on a chart of people that you are connected to, you're probably talking to maybe about 20% of them. What about the other 80%? Let me ask you this. Do those 80% that are connected to you still have access to your pictures, photos, all that good stuff? Do they live in, own, or rent a home? Yeah, they do. Do they know 300 other people that live in, rent, and own homes? Yeah. How often do you talk to them? You've got an absolute channel to talk to those people, to engage with them that maybe you would never engage with, but look, you accepted their friendship. They're online with you. They have access to your stuff, and you have access to their stuff. And here's your opportunity to start playing prospecting, but not like hitting them up for business. It's just, hey, haven't talked in a while. How are things? How's life? How's the baby? The baby getting big? Talking socially, because now what? Your top of mind consciousness. We never in our life, other than email, had this kind of tool to see what they're doing, see their daughter graduating. And yes, you normally don't talk to them, but if you actually spend time talking and focusing on others that are outside your comfort level, you will find that in turn you're building your sphere, and that sphere will build you more business. That's a huge focus. Even if it's 5 new people a week that you normally don't talk to, go talk to them. Don't sell them. Talk to them. Stay engaged with them. DM them. Chit-chat with them. Look at their photos. See what their life's all about. And as if you were actually having a lunch meeting with them.
So, Jeff, Facebook makes this, I think they kind of skew towards making it easy to continue to connect with those 20% that you're already connecting with, right? Like your news feed will be generally those people that you've engaged with in the past, right? So you're always kind of seeing the same people and making connections or talking to the same people. What you're talking about here is you kind of have to go out of your way to do this, right? Like you kind of got to, you go find those people, or you end up on their page, or you leave some kind of a note on their page, right? I mean, this isn't just sitting back and waiting for them to pop up in your news feed.
Right, because that's the comfort zone. You're right, but you've already accepted them as a friend, so you have direct access to this group, or this group. And let's face it, this group is probably, it could be your cousin in California. It could be a friend you went to college with in Texas. And look, how do I know my friend in Texas just didn't sell his dad's home or needs a referral agent? How do I know my cousin in California that I don't talk to all the time, because she doesn't think of her cousin in New Jersey, but hey, I'm looking for an investment property. She might even need advice or something. If I don't stay in front of them, Facebook gives me the open platform to communicate just socially. But remember, if I'm not going to be their best friend, someone else is. What about your past customers? How often do you talk to them? This is a huge issue right here. Get me wired up on this one. Here's my pitch, and this is to the industry at large, not to the folks on this webinar, because it may not be you. But here's a problem with real estate and why we lose future business. In our business, it's like the love affair. While we're showing properties, and many of you know when you're showing properties, you're quite intimate. You're talking every day. You're texting every minute. You're in that courting, dating stage, right? You're dating each other, talking every day. You finally get to a contract. We found the house. We get to a contract. You just got engaged. Congratulations. The ring is on. We're making a commitment. We're going to buy this house. Closing time is wedding day. You get to the table. The deal is done. Congratulations. You're now married. Here's your house. You go your way. Honeymoon. Commission check is good for about a week. Clears the bank. Honeymoon's over. And 2 days later, most of us in this industry get divorced because you don't ever talk to that customer again. You put them in a drip campaign. You send them a postcard every 6 months. But guess what? If you don't ever talk to them again, you're going to see that sign go in the ground 5 to 6 years later. And this happened to me several times, if not more. 7 years later, it goes in the ground, and it's not my sign, and I am pissed. And who am I pissed at? I should be mad at me. I never talked to them again. I put them in. Now, you need systems and drips and all that stuff to keep a system, but stay in touch with them on social media. They could be talking about, hey, I just renovated my kitchen of my new house I bought a year ago. What do you think? And you don't respond because you don't talk to them anymore. but their friend that's up the street, the new agent up the road, is responding to it, or the new best friend they meet at the barbecue that's in real estate responds to it. So we got to understand social is this platform. We can communicate much more friendly than a letter, than a postcard, and know everything that's happening in their world when they're having children, birthdays, and everything else. And we choose to stay in our little comfort group. So,
Jeff, maybe, I mean, that, let me ask the people on the call, for everybody on the call, how many of you guys are comfortable connecting with your clients on, let's say, Facebook or even LinkedIn, but Facebook's kind of this, the big one, right? So how many of you guys are comfortable connecting with your clients on Facebook? Like, let me know, because what you're talking about, there's some people I think out there who would go, I just don't know that I'm comfortable even connecting with my clients. And what you're basically saying is you're missing just this major opportunity to be able to stay engaged with them in past the honeymoon phase, right?
Yeah, past. Yeah, well, you're probably already got divorced because you're not going to talk to them normally. So you're already divorced. I mean, because look, I love systems. You got to have systems. But listen, if you send a drip mail campaign out, and then you sign up and they get the magazine every quarter, all the cool propaganda, top of mind consciousness. But they go meet a new friend at church or a barbecue that happens to be a real estate agent, and they're chit-chatting on Facebook every day, and they're talking, and they're seeing each other in town, and they haven't heard from me in 3 years. Who do you think they're going to list their house with next? Not me. I haven't stopped by. I haven't seen them. I haven't had that physical human touch with them. You still need to be human beyond social. So social is that connection. At least, look, for all I know, listen, they announced on Facebook they had a baby. Well, I'm their agent. Shouldn't I congratulate them? How would I ever know that if I didn't have a platform? They're not going to send me an email. They're not going to send me a postcard saying they had a baby. What if my daughter's graduating, we're getting ready to retire, can't wait, and I don't see that post? They're probably going to sell the house soon. Hello? But that's the part we need to look for. We don't have to be stalkers, but people are talking about their life every day, and I think that needs to include your customers. I seriously think it's a disconnect if we don't do it, because other people are doing it, and they're going to take the customer away from you at some point if we don't do our job.
Alfredo says, Alfredo says, I prefer to call. So there's a bunch of answers in here. A lot of people are saying, hey, I love to do it. Some people are saying it's fun. There's a few people saying, I probably don't do it as much as I should. Alfredo says, I prefer to call. And you know what, Alfredo, you should absolutely keep in touch with your clients in that manner. Let me maybe give you a little bit different spin on talking to your clients online as well. When you engage with them, they're not the only people that see that. Right? So their friends have an opportunity to see that. Again, you're not selling, but you're just there, right? Yeah. Just like you would be there at the meet and greet or the party or the BNI group, or right? So being visible like that is a good addition to picking the phone up and calling.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think a phone call is huge, and I'm proud to hear someone's picking up a phone and actually using it. But in addition, before I picked up the phone, if I'm still there and engaged, at least and I noticed, I could look at their last 2 weeks worth of posts and pretty much, hey, I saw your daughter won the soccer tournament last week. That's awesome. It gives me something to talk about on the call versus going, hey, how's it going? Haven't talked to you in a while. Just want to check in on things. You know already what they're talking. You've got stuff to talk about. It's a warm call.
Eric asked Jeff, this is a good question, and I have an opinion on this, but he says, I have 2,000 friends, right, in quotes, on Facebook. Is that too many? Or in your opinion, are you able to respond to all of their important posts?
Nope, it's not too many, and no, you're not going to be able to respond to all of them. Keep in mind this, and it's not exactly the same in social media, but take farming. I farmed, a territory of several thousand homes when I was in my gold jacket days knocking on doors for a living, and my farm was, and I had cue cards for every house. So did I say 2,000 was too many? No. I knocked on doors. I kept going. I went through a cycle, set up appointments, and kept going. I wish I had those 2,000 people on a platform where I can see what they're doing every day in life versus just having to go knock on their door and call them. I think the conjunction of both. You're not going to be able to touch everybody. But if you can do a little homework and research some of the people and just stay connected with some of the people that you normally just you're not used to, you're creating more opportunities and awareness that you would never have before. That's all. And it's also nice to hear from you, too, because you have the opportunity to talk to these people through this platform without being salesy and staying connected, because you never know where the next opportunity is coming from. To me, it's opportunities.
If you guys want like a to-do when you get out of here, if you haven't done this yet, you should absolutely figure this out like soon, okay? Because Eric has 2,000 friends, but the most important people for him right now are his past clients. In terms of, I think, communicating with people on Facebook, go set up a list on Facebook for your past clients. That way you have an easy place that you can go in and check out what those past clients are doing on a daily basis. And it's going to take you 2 or 3 minutes a day, right? You hit the list, boom. It's just those people in the feed that you want to reach out and touch.
Yep. And lists are great for everything. I'm glad you said it because I was going to cover it. If you don't have a list, which makes it simple, you look at your list of past clients, because all I want you to look for is if they said something important or something special happened in their life, or maybe something not so special. You could be there for them as that friend, that relationship. God forbid someone passes away. I'm sorry, I could send you a card. Someone gets promoted. Congratulations. If you don't say anything, you run into them in the grocery store 2 weeks later, and she says, oh, I'm sorry, my dad just passed away. Like, oh, my God, it's a shock. You should have known that because that's what you had access to it if they posted it. So just use it as a tool to just keep and be present. Stay social, stay friendly, and it's a better tool than trying to rely on going out and see them in person, which is always a good thing if you can. Phone calls are great. If you could go out and stop by and see the house in person, hey, just stopping by, love to see what you've done to the house, great. But in the meantime, they're talking, we should be listening.